The scene opens up with a broad view of the city, and we see a group of people walking around making idle chatter. They said that after the flood receded, the corpses that were originally under the water began to mutate once more. They were told to stop looking around and keep walking in order not to waste time. As they walked around, Yunyun looked very nervous and scared, and then she called for Duanya's attention. Duanya turned her attention to the poor girl, and Yunyun asked where Suchin was going with all the medical students who they were walking around with. Duanya said that the escaped mutant ratmen were lurking around the University of Science and Technology, and it was no longer suitable for human survival. The surviving medical students were seen as scarce talents during the Doomsday, so Suchin planned to take them to the resettlement area. Yunyun was upset because they still had a long way to walk, and she was already getting really hungry. The hunger made her twist and turn her body, giving everyone quite a good view of the mountains on her chest. Anyway, she decided that she needed to go and find Suchin so that she could quell her hunger. As she attempted to leave, Duanya held her back and told her that she wasn't allowed to go. Yunyan wondered why Duanya was being so overprotective and holding her back from satisfying herself. Duanya then told her that since she was following them, she had to be obedient and do whatever she was told. She thought to herself that she was also good for her as well. Duanya had a sudden flashback to her when Suchin stood over her and she sat vulnerably on the floor. At that time, she was wondering what had gotten into him because he was acting strange. Suchin had a fiery look in his eyes as he grabbed her cheeks and told her not to be afraid. He was just a little hot, and he needed to cool off by any means necessary. She couldn't believe it when he suddenly kissed her, but she didn't back out of that moment either. After that, her body started to feel weird. And there was a sudden night of heavy rain. Back to the present, Duanya thought about how wild Suchin had become after that moment they shared. She started to wonder if it was a side effect of the crystal core that was in his possession. As the group continued moving through the city, Suchin said that after the flood recedes, bacteria, viruses, and even plants would start to undergo major mutations. Also, many resettlement areas would begin to collapse due to a lack of doctors. Doctors were really scarce at the time for them. And if they were able to make good use of the doctors, they would be able to establish their own resettlement area. Apart from being able to get their own area, even if multiple forces emerged in the future, Suchin believed that they had the capital to fight against them. In addition to that, the harvest at that time was good because Yunyun found a method of making serums and recovery potions. Suchin also said that Tian and the others were recovering, and they would be able to give him a helping hand when needed. He was also able to store all the research equipment and materials in the laboratory building within his dimensional space. Suchin then thought seriously about the Rat King's crystal core, which he had acquired previously. It wasn't only able to enhance his berserker ability, but it also increased his physical strength. His plot armor just kept getting more insane as the days went by. The crystal core also gave him ice powers. Although he could only condense a little ice, he was determined to find a way to increase it in the future. As if he wasn't overpowered enough. The crystal core of the half-body female mutant also added more abilities to his arsenal. Her crystal core gave him 2 psychic abilities, but he was upset that he didn't get the power of illusion. Tian suddenly noticed a weird sound coming from around them, and the other got very nervous. Suchan activated his first psychic skill, which was spiritual perception. He said that the ability probably came from the corpse's appetite for blood. His eyes turned to a sharp red color, and he had a very intimidating aura around him. He was able to see the heat signatures from the blood of living things about 30 meters around him. It was like he had turned into a heat-seeking missile. He then noticed that the members of the Tao clan were about to ambush them. He could see the numerous people who were hiding in the buildings and waiting for the right time to strike. One of the members of Suchin's group saw something frightening and told everyone else to look up towards where he was pointing. Above them, they could see a female who had been hung on the traffic light pole, and they wondered what was going on. They wanted to know who did it and pay them back for their heinous crimes. A girl then noticed that the person who was hung was known as Ruerwi, and she was her roommate. She told the guys to hurry up and save Ruerwi before it was too late. It was a life that needed saving, and she couldn't stand seeing her roommate in such a humiliating state. One of the guys attempted to go and save the girl, but Suchin stopped him and told him to mind his business. Suchin then told his group to keep moving and stop wasting time. The girl couldn't believe how cold-blooded he was. She wondered if Suchin was even still human because it didn't make sense that he would just watch someone die when there was still a chance to save her. Other people began to speak up, and they said that Suchin wasn't a man at all. They decided to stay back and help because they couldn't just stand by and watch someone die before their eyes. The girl ordered them to put Ruerwi down quickly so that she could attend to her. Some men moved to the traffic pole quickly and began loosening the rope in order to rescue her. As they were loosening the ropes, arrows suddenly came out of nowhere and started raining down on them. The arrows pierced through the guys and sent them to an early grave. The sudden turn of events brought fear to the girls' eyes. All of them couldn't believe that they just lost 2 innocent souls in an attempt to save one person. They finally realized it was a trap, but things were already looking very bleak for them. 2 crazy guys burst out from the windows above them with axes. They quickly surrounded the girl and the guy she was with. The 2 men from the Tao clan were as big as mountains, and they were ready to end their miserable lives. The fools who were trapped screamed out and panicked while hoping that it wasn't the end of the road for them. One of the huge men grabbed the girl by her cheeks and got a good taste of her. His teeth were as sharp as daggers, and he said that the little girl was really kind-hearted. He also said that she could definitely attract more people if she acted as bait for them. The vile man tried to get a good feel of her legs and see what she had in store for him. She closed her legs tightly to prevent herself from being defiled. He then asked his subordinate to let him play with the girl for a while so that he could satisfy his urges. The poor girl was scared skinless as she looked at the monstrosity that grabbed her head. She begged him to let her go, but there was no use. Her friend tried to fight for her, and he demanded that the ugly monster let her go. But he didn't see the other enemy, who was about to chop off his head. The poor guy got slaughtered, and his blood was splattered everywhere. The monster referred to him as food and said that he should be conscious of other food like himself as well. The girl screamed out as she watched her friend get chopped up like a shish kebab, but her useless screaming didn't matter to them. They thought that she was sweet and wanted to keep her for the sole purpose of using her to make babies. She definitely had the assets for the job. Sadly, her torso was ripped out of her lower body, and she joined her friend in the world beyond. While the chaos went on, Suchen just watched silently as the sounds of joyous people surrounded them. Duenya looked at him, hoping that he would do something soon before they joined the deceased. She asked him if the woman who just got ripped was used as bait, and he confirmed it. She wanted to know if they were then safe, but they were still surrounded by the Tao clan. In the buildings all around them, the huge monsters watched from the windows as they kept an eye on Suchen and his group. The guys panicked as they found out that they were surrounded. Their chances of survival were looking very low, and only Suchen was going to be their saving grace. With a mean look in his eyes, he decided to try out one last ability, which was known as corpse control. He activated it, and a legion of mindless zombies rose up from the ground. Suchen wanted the Tao clan to know the feeling of being surrounded as well.